So that's what they used to do. They would scoop up. They would scoop up the salt from the shores of the Dead Sea. They would take that salt and use that salt as a fertilizer. Another aspect of salt, another aspect of what you were supposed to be, distribution of salt. Distribution of salt is very important. Not the salt in the kitchen, not the salt on your chicken, not the salt on your macaroni and cheese. I'm making myself hungry right now. Pray for me. But as a fertilizer, listen, you know, it's been taught a little sprinkling of salt will do. But as a fertilizer, a little sprinkling of salt won't do. Distribution of salt is very important. Now, I can take a piece of chicken and I can sprinkle a little salt on it, and it's great. But if I have a big field and I want some good things to grow, a little sprinkle of salt on that field is not enough. I need shovelfuls. Oh, I need somebody to help me. I need shovelfuls of salt, because if it's going to work, if God says that we are a fertilizer versus that table salt that's been preached all these many years. If we need shovelfuls, that's why when Jesus looked, he looked out at the crowd. Some translations say he looked out at the crowd. Some translations say he was looking out at the field. But what did he say? He said the field, the harvest is plentiful. Come on, God. Do you see how Jesus is talking here? How it's a connection? So that lets you know, see, what happens is when we teach and we preach and we study according to our own experiences. But Jesus did not have that experience. He wasn't sitting up at no table with a big old spread putting salt on all his food. But we'll teach that. We'll teach it. And therefore, when we get the wrong theology of it, we are not effective. Okay? The distribution of salt. The distribution of salt is very important. You need shovelful. That's why Jesus said, hey, pray that more laborers are sent to the harvest. Why? Because he looked at the harvest and he said, man, I want this harvest to grow. It's plentiful, and I want this harvest to grow. He was talking about us being out in the harvest. Amen. So you see, the presence of salt is important. Yes, there has to be a proportion of salt, and it has to be distributed in a certain way. Now, I got good news for you. Facts show that 5% of something, 5% in a society, 5% on the job, 5% in the schools, 5% in the hospitals, or everywhere you go, 5% will turn a bad society into a good one. Only 5%. If you go do your research, only 5% can change the atmosphere. 5% can change the society. 5% can change the entire world. It make good things grow. But guess what? We are also an antibacterial. We keep bad things, we inhibit bad things from growing.